Alright, so when your Tyrannosaur Tightener arrives, it's going to come with two things. It's going to come with the part itself that replaces the factory shift knuckle, and it's going to come with two sets of bushings with bolts to go with them. Today, we're going to learn how to pick which size bushing is best for your application, as well as how to install them into the part. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is move to a soft work surface. So a workbench with some type of padded surface will do just fine. Or if you are working on the ground, you can lay down just a towel or a piece of cardboard or even a block of wood. It's just something to keep from marring the finish when we drive in the bushings. So out of the bag, you'll notice that you've got two sizes of bushings. Now, these bushings are two heights along this edge here. So you'll see that this is a shorter of the two bushings along this surface. So less material here, and here's an example of the longer bushing or taller bushing. It is thicker along this surface right here. The way you know which of these two bushings to use is comparing it to your factory part. So when you get the factory knuckle out of the car and you look at it, it may be this tall, and when you put the Tyrannosaur Tightener up next to it, you'll see that the size difference is pretty small. So you will be needing to use the thinner bushing. If, on the other hand, you get your factory part out and it's much taller, like this one, and you lay the Tyrannosaur Tightener up next to it, and you see that there is a big difference in size, height-wise, then you are going to need to use the thicker bushing to take up that extra space. Let's just assume that your application requires not the thicker but the thinner bushing, because most applications do use the thinner bushing. And let's teach you guys how to install. So take the Tyrannosaur Tightener, and I always find it easier to remove the clevis pin, so we'll remove the reusable cotter pin, take the clevis pin out, set those things to the side, then take the part itself. We'll lay that against our soft surface that we had prepared earlier, take our bushing, lay it onto the hole where it kind of lines up. You can kind of like feel to where it lines up a little bit. Then just hold the part still, give it a few taps, make sure that the bushing itself is kind of lined up nicely with the hole, and then take your hammer and you're going to drive it the rest of the way home. A couple of small taps and it's in. And you can see that even a regular hammer doesn't really do anything to the Delrin. It's pretty tough, but you can use a rubber-headed mallet as well if you like. Once we're done with this side, we're going to flip the part over. We're going to repeat this same process on this side and drive the bushing home, and then you're just about ready to install it in the car. The last thing you're going to need to do is pick your bolt size. So if you used the shorter of the two bushings, you're going to need to use the shorter of the two bolts. So as you can see, the bolts are two different lengths, but they do require the same nut and the same washer. So just pick the length bolt that goes for your application, use the washers and other included hardware, and get it installed on your car. Should be ready to go. Thank you so much.